class at the University of Idaho, which is, I always call it the go and do class. Students learn a lot about public health and how to do interventions. And then we actually pick a topic and we go and do it. And we did that for the tobacco-free campus. We've done it for lots of other things. But I had a student last year, a nutrition student, who was really interested in food security. So her name is, on this slide, her name is Rachel Crick. And she is now gainfully employed as a nutritionist, which is good news. So we have such a short time, so I won't spend a lot of time talking about definitions, but we were really interested in food insecurity on the UMI campus. So we wanted to evaluate and see what we could learn about it. And just for a little bit of background, when we talk about food security, we're really talking about levels of food security. And within these levels are definitions that I won't go into today. But it's really important that we think about food security as being people having very high food security, meaning they're not worried about it. They have the means and the funds to buy what they need. To very low food security, and when you get to very low food security, it means you're missing meals. You're having to make decisions, and those decisions will include skipping meals. So it's really a gradient. And one thing that Rachel and I came away thinking about was, what are the stereotypes about college students and food? And just tell me some of the stereotypes that you've heard.
Drink your dinner.
What's that?
Drink your dinner.
Drink your dinner, yeah. What's another stereotype you've heard?
Ramen.
Ramen, everyone has ramen. Safeway, right before school starts, has cases and cases of ramen.
Cook on a popcorn maker.
Cook on a popcorn maker. Another stereotype too is really important, is that most college students come with a mom and a dad, and the mom and the dad support them in school. And I think those of you that are associated with the university know that that's not normal anymore, that you come with mom and dad are really footing the bill for school. And so one of the things that we talked about was there's so many stereotypes, but they're normative. So we think, I'm in school, I just won't eat. Later on, when I can afford food, I will. And there are a lot of reasons that that's not helpful for an academic career. So we were able to look at data in a couple ways, and this is a lot of information on a slide, but let me point out a few things, because we're really going down to less food secure to very food insecure. I was hungry but didn't eat because there wasn't enough money for food. And so on a survey that the University of Ohio did, looking at basic needs that included basic needs for housing and food, and it was a scientifically defensible survey, 22% of the students said, that's me. I find myself right there. When we looked at data across the nation, very consistent. And so, and many universities are starting to say, what is this picture of food insecurity on our campus, and what does it mean? And I can make these slides available for folks if you'd like to see it. When we look at food security levels compared to other peer institutions, we're right in there. I mean, I feel like our results were pretty defensible. We look like other four-year institutions in terms of students with very low food insecurity. They ranked us at 19.3% of students were saying that was them. And that really means I'm eating less than I know I need, I'm skipping meals, I'm cutting back. And I think this is a really important quote. Students who struggle to eat will struggle to focus, struggle to compete academically, struggle to graduate, struggle to land suitable employment, repay loans, and never transcend the conditions that college was meant to cure. So, and the other thing that we know is that kids are coming into college food insecure. There's a youth behavioral risk survey that said 3% of Idahoan students say they're food insecure, high school students, that they're hungry. That question is actually that they're hungry. You know, what are the impacts of food insecurity? There are many: stress, depression, social isolation. We had students talk to us and said, I'd really like to go out and get ice cream with my friends. I just can't. It'd be fun to have a meal out or coffee. I just can't. So what is the University of Idaho doing? There's several initiatives. There's pantries, there's food drives, we have periodic cooking classes, we have a campus RD, we have food bank referrals. Recently we have Tuesday Food at the Women's Center because Food Not Moms is putting food there. But we went looking to see what else can we do, what can we learn? And what we learned is that universities have amazing food pantries. OSU has a food pantry that looks like that bottom right picture, where it looks like a grocery store, where there's lots of dignity in going, that you can get fresh food. They have, we learned that some people have a basic hub on campus for needs. and they're not turned away. The other thing that we learned is that, and I've talked to Sodexo about this, people have meal swipe programs where they can donate meals that they don't use or donate dollars. So we're looking at some kind of these initiatives. We also learned that we really have a food literacy problem, that students don't know about cooking, budgeting, shopping, preserving, and even hunting, fishing, and foraging. Those are accessible ways to get food in our community. So we know we have work to do in food literacy. There's even, some universities even have food scholarships. So they have your certain financial aid packet, but they'll have a packet for food. So if you've been on food stamps before, if you have a FAFSA score that's very low, or a low, or however that works, low or high, there's food that's directly for scholarship. And people say rent eats food. And this is one way that we can counter rent eating food, if we have food scholarships. So this is my model, a working model that we're working on in the University of Idaho, thinking about, it's not just about emergency food. We really need to shore that up. We need to make sure that students on campus aren't hungry, that they can get food. But we need to think about food access. So these are my thoughts about how we might do some of that. We need to build partnerships with the food bank and the farmer's market. One university told me that they work with some civic clubs, and the civic clubs give them money to go to Costco, get a lot of food, and bring it back to the pantry. And I thought, well, that's a brilliant idea. They're building partnerships that way. And the part that I'm always going to work on is this assess and evaluate. Let's determine who's at risk. Let's evaluate if we made impact. But that's what I'm working on at the University of Idaho, and if anybody's interested, I'd love to chat with you later.